Hey there, movie fans. It's time for another virtual edition of your favorite movie game show, Real Smaht. In the house, Halloween special. And now, here's your host, the Headless Horsewoman.
Hello, and welcome to Real Smaht, the movie game. And I'm your host, the Headless Horseman, or woman. Well, I almost didn't come on and host this because I was so into this and trying to do my best that I lost my head. And somebody decided that this pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern was a good look for me. Is this the best you guys could do? Oh, they say it's the best that they could do on short notice. So bear with me as we bring to you our special Halloween edition. Don't forget, take notes, write down your answers, compete against your friends, and see who gets the most points at the end. How's about it? Ready to play? Okay. All the King's Men is our first category. And this one, I kind of like this one. Dozens of movies have been made based on stories by Stephen King. Do you remember who starred in them? First question. Who played the evil clown, Pennywise, in It? Bill Skarsgard? Stellan Skarsgard? Alexander Skarsgard? We'll give you a little time to think about it. Okay? And the answer is Bill Skarsgard. Did you get it? It's okay if you didn't. We're just warming up here. Okay? Next question. Who played Johnny Smith, the man who could foresee people's deaths in the dead zone? I love this movie. This has got to be my favorite Stephen King movie. But I digress. So, who played Johnny Smith? Martin Sheen, Tom Skerritt, Christopher Walken. And the answer is Christopher Walken. Yeah, he was good. He was really good. Then they made the series, and it was good, but it wasn't as good, so. But let's move on. Who played Annie Wilkes, the crazed superfan in Misery? I gotta tell you that this is my favorite Stephen King movie. Yes, this one is my favorite. Okay? Yeah, I know it's your favorite too, at least for a couple of you. Anyway, who played Annie Wilkes? Kathy Bates? Bonnie Bedelia? Kathy Najimy? And the right answer is Kathy Bates. Yeah, that's a good name. I could actually, pronounce that one. So it's all good. It's all good. So don't forget, competing with your friends. Who's ahead? Yeah, okay, we're moving on. Who played Roland, the gunslinger, protecting the Dark Tower? Matthew McConaughey? Idris Elba? Dennis Haysbert? Well, this is, well, think about it. Well, the answer is Idris Elba. Yeah. In Silver Bullet, who played Uncle Red, the man who helped his nephew Marty defeat the werewolf? Nick Nolte? Ned Beatty? Gary Busey? Now keep in mind this movie was made in 1985. That might help you. Or might not. And the answer is Gary Busey. Next question. Who played the Nazi war criminal in Apt Pupil? Here are your choices. Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, Christopher Lee. McKellen. That's the correct answer. Are you keeping track of the movies that we're mentioning? Because you might want to look at them after. Because, most of them are good. Okay, all of them are good. All right? So, here we go. Who played the grown-up Danny Torrance in the sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep? Now, this one's fairly recent, so I know that those of you who are out there and still, going to Stephen King movies, you'll remember this one. James McAvoy, Ewan McGregor, Michael Fassbender. Ewan McGregor. In Creepshow, who played the farmer who encountered an invisible alien plant from a fallen meteorite? Leslie Nielsen, Ted Danson, Stephen King. Okay, this is kind of cool, and then we tricked you, sort of, but it's in keeping with our rules, but the answer is Stephen King. This is his first appearance in a movie based on his work. Okay. Who played John Coffey, the inmate with supernatural powers in The Green Mile? Now, this is my favorite Stephen King movie. Yes, this one is my favorite. Michael Clark Duncan, Vic Rames, Tommy Lister. Michael Clark Duncan. In our last question in this category, who starred as Bill Robinson, the hero of Maximum Overdrive? Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, Josh Brolin. Emilio Estevez is the correct answer. Hey, for extra points, just tell me how many times I said it was my favorite Stephen King movie. Just kidding. But if you want to do that in your house, that's fine. Okay. Now, this is one that they threw in here just to make me a little nervous. Which is which? Oh, yeah, you say that. That's why I'm the host, because I can say that. But I'm not saying it again. In Oz, the Great and Powerful, we learned that the Wicked Witch of the West was named what? Theodora, Evanora, or Glinda? This was kind of cool because we learned her name in this one. You didn't. She never, poor thing, never got a name in The Wizard of Oz. And the correct answer is Theodora. In Hocus Pocus, who played the eldest of the Sanderson sisters? Now, this one should be easy for those of you up here on the East Coast because it was just on TV. Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, Sarah Jessica Parker. Bette Midler. In Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. We're not saying Halloween 2 or even the first Halloween. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. What was the name of the witch? Alice Blackwell? Taylor Huddleston? Or there was no witch in the movie? Oh, trick question. I love it when there are trick questions. Again, we're talking about Halloween 3. And the answer is, there was no witch in the movie. In The Craft, who played Nancy, the witch that led the coven into doing evil things? Nev Campbell, Fairuza Balk, Robin Tunney. And It's the woman with a funny name, Fairuza Balk. Forgive me, Fairuza, if I don't pronounce it correctly. In the Blair Witch films, what is the witch's name? I like this question. Again, in the Blair Witch films, what was the witch's name? Heather Donahue, Ellie Kedwood, Eileen Treacle. Ellie Kedwood, yes, I could see you saying that, jumping up and down. In the underrated Stardust, Michelle Pfeiffer played an evil witch named what? Yvaine Empusa Lamia. Okay, who's ever coming up with these? You need to coach me on these before we go on there. Okay, never mind. And the answer is Lamia. In Into the Woods, who played the witch? Christine Baranski, Meryl Streep, Tracy Ullman. Anybody heard that Tracy Ullman had an album that, only like 5 of us bought. Yeah, I was one of them, but it was really good. Anyway, Meryl Streep is the answer. In the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, what was the evil witch known as? The White Witch, the Witch Queen, the Snow Queen. The White Witch. The 3 witches in The Witches of Eastwick were played by Michelle Pfeiffer, Cher, and who? Sigourney Weaver, Jessica Lange, Susan Sarandon. Susan Sarandon. You're right. In the Harry Potter movies, which witch teaches transfiguration class? You try to repeat that sentence. Sybil Trelawney, Minerva McGonagall, Pomona Sprout. You're right. Minerva McGonagall. Yeah. I know you got it. Somebody in there got it. Okay. Our next title. We have that category to make a long story short. Well, we've got a special Halloween version of it. Well, it's a play on it. And it's called Monster Mash. You remember that? He did that mash. That song. So, yeah. But if you're too young, look it up. Anyway. Everything's on the Facebook there. Whatever. In this category, we took 2 descriptions of horror movies and mashed them together to make a new title. See if you can figure out which films we used. Now, if you don't get the exact title, it's okay. If you get the 2 films, that's good enough. Okay? You got that? Okay, let's try the first one. Ash, a hardware store clerk, is transported to 1300 AD, where he must venture into the streets of New York on a rescue mission during a rampaging monster attack. The movie is Army of Cloverfield. Okay. You see how we got that? It was a combination of Army of Darkness and Cloverfield. Okay? You got that? Maybe you need another one to get the whole thing. Get the feel of it. When a killer shark unleashes chaos on a beach community, A group of Pennsylvanians barricade themselves in an old farmhouse to remain safe from bloodthirsty zombies. The title is Jaws of the Living Dead. It's a combination of Jaws and Night of the Living Dead. Okay? Getting the hang of it? Okay. Let's go to the next one. 2 American college students on a walking tour of Britain are attacked by a werewolf that seeks revenge by invading the dreams of teenagers whose parents were responsible for his untimely death. An American Werewolf on Elm Street. It's a combination of An American Werewolf in London and A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay. 2 criminals and their hostages unknowingly seek refuge in a truck stop populated by vampires, then take refuge from zombies in a mega Midwestern shopping mall. Which mall that was. Anyway, sorry, I digress. From Dusk Till Dawn of the Dead. I like that one. The movies, From Dusk Till Dawn, and then Dawn of the Dead. Okay? 4 friends bound by a tragic accident are reunited when they find themselves being stalked by a hook-wielding maniac while trying to reopen a summer camp which was the site of a child's drowning in a grisly double murder years before. That's a mouthful. That's not to mention it's a long description. Anyway, this sounds like an answer one of our contestants did on our last Halloween show. And she wasn't meaning to do it, but she did it this way. I Know What You Did Last Friday the 13th. It's a combination of I Know What You Did Last Summer and Friday the 13th. Larry Talbot returns to his father's castle in Wales, gets bitten by a wolf, and searches an Amazon waterway for a strange prehistoric beast. Wolfman from the Black Lagoon, and it's the Wolfman and Creature from the Black Lagoon. A deadly entity from space crashes near a small town and starts to consume anyone in its path, then gets offered $10,000 to be locked in a large, spooky, rented house overnight. The Blob on Haunted Hill. The Blob, the old 1958 movie on Haunted Hill, which is 1959. Other people they remade this different ways. I like the original myself. A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter, where a sinister presence influences the father into watching a videotape, which seems to cause the death of anyone 1 week to the day after they view it. And it's the Shining Ring. It's a combination of The Shining plus The Ring. When his town is inexplicably overrun with zombies, Sean must protect his girlfriend and his mother from being replaced by emotionless alien duplicates. Shaun of the Body Snatchers. It's a combination of Shaun of the Dead and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. 3 film students vanish after traveling into a forest to film a documentary and end up falling victim to a family of power tool wielding cannibalistic psychopaths. Now see, that sounds like a fun day. Anyway, it is called the Blair Chainsaw Massacre. You get it? You get the Blair Witch Project and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that's all we have for that category. I bet some of you thought that was very, very hard. I also think some of you came up with some really creative alternatives. Our next category is, do you feel like Kaju? Hey, sit on that for a minute. Just think about it. Let it, because that sounds familiar. Again, it's, do you feel like Kaju? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to show you a picture of some monsters. And you're going to have to name them. Okay? So here's the first one. That is Godzilla. Did you get that one? Yeah, I think that one, that one was pretty, somewhat, kind of easy. Now the second one. That's a nice looking guy. Got something to do with his teeth. Anyway, it's Gamera. Yeah, you knew that. Now this next guy, I couldn't figure out. He's got the red, looks like a red top, you think devil, and then he's got the white, and it looks like wings, and that is Space Godzilla. Yeah. Number 4. Destroyer. Yeah. It's Destroyer in Japanese, or so I'm told. Now this guy, look at this guy. I just love this picture because, no, you can't really see the lines. I mean, the wires, no, that's not how it is. This is King Ghidorah. Now when I first saw this one, I heard the name and I thought, Gamora, Galaxy, what was that one called? Anyway, that's who I thought of, and they're not even related. So there you go. The next one. Rodan. I always thought Rodan was an artist, but anyway, what do I know? The next one is... Look at that wingspan. That's Mothra. Can you imagine having that come chew at your clothes? Oh, no. Number 8. Megalon. I have nothing to say about Megalon. I have no clue. Nothing. This next one's a little strange. Okay, just a little. They've all been kind of strange, but this one I think wins as the strangest just because it's Biolante. It is a monster with the head of a rose. Boy, you really shouldn't treat a rose like that, but imagine having that grown in your backyard. And finally, tried and true, known to most Americans, is King Kong. Think about the movies you've seen of King Kong. Well, that's it for that category, and and now we'll move along. Okay, let's try. This is our final category, and it's called Dead Last. Oh, how appropriate! Isn't that good? The way we did that. Anyway, horror movies tend to have a lot of sequels. Can you pick out the last movie in the franchise? Okay, Friday the 13th. And your choices are Friday the 13th, Jason X, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, and the winner is Friday the 13th, 2009, brought a reboot using the original name. A Nightmare on Elm Street was the last one. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, or Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It's A Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, it was a reboot in 2010, which used the original name. Halloween. So, which of these was the last Halloween? Halloween H2O, 20 years later, Halloween Resurrection. Your answer is Halloween. 2018 brought a second reboot in the third film in the franchise called Halloween. That's just wild. Anyway, Saw. Which one's the last of Saw? Saw 6, Saw 3D, Jigsaw, and the answer is Jigsaw. 2017. That was the last hit. Texas Chain Massacre. Texas Chain Massacre at the beginning, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Leatherface, 2017. I like that one, Leatherface. I know some of you people probably know someone really wrinkled face. Okay, that's not nice. Anyway, next movie, Paranormal Activity. And your choices are Paranormal Activity 4, Paranormal Activity The Ghost Dimension, or Paranormal Activity The Marked Ones. Paranormal Activity The Ghost Dimension, 2015. The Purge. The Purge Election Year. The First Purge. The Purge Anarchy. The First Purge. Ironic that they would call the last one the First Purge. Anyway. Children of the Corn. Your choices: Children of the Corn Runaway, Children of the Corn Revelation, Children of the Corn Genesis. The answer is Children of the Corn Runaway. Leprechaun. Leprechaun Origins, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, Leprechaun Returns. Leprechaun Returns is the answer. And the last one, Child's Play. You have choices of Child's Play, Cult of Chucky, Curse of Chucky. You know what? I'm sorry they didn't put in there The Bride of Chucky. That was kind of strange. Not that these aren't. But the answer is Child's Play, 2019. It too is a reboot. And that's our show for today. Have you been adding up your scores? Because we want to know who the real smart movie fanatic is in your house. So email us and let us know not only who won, but what your scores are, because we like hearing from our fans. And everybody, thank you for watching. Have a good day, and don't forget, go see a good movie.